Hello everyone, Scoops here, another episode of my World of Warcraft dungeon run. Today we are doing Gnomeregan. Gnomeregan. Deep in the heart of... Whoa, okay, here we go. Usually it takes like 10-20 minutes for that to happen, but no, straight away. I'll take that. I had some like bad lag in the last episode, but hopefully I figured it out. I think I did. I think I was just had some bad well, not enough hard drive space. There we go. Hello. But it seems to be okay. Well, hopefully okay. Hope I don't run into any issues. This is definitely an interesting dungeon. I don't think there'll be many quests here because it's a gnome dungeon. It's actually supposedly the gnome home city, and it's been overrun by trogs, I think they're called. I can't remember now. It's been a while. And yeah, it's a dangerous place. That's why we're here. We gotta clear it out. Now, again, this is another dungeon that's kind of changed a lot. Actually, not a whole lot, really, except that it used to be one of the longest dungeons. Actually, well, I guess it still is, kind of. But they've changed it up a bit. Here I get a parachute, and you jump down. Usually try to land on the gear or something like that, but it doesn't really matter. Whereas before, you kind of have to go around. Alright. Kind of all over this area here. There's a boss there. You have to go down here, do a bunch of shit. Alright, where's this guy? Anyway, yeah, so it used to be quite a bit longer, and there's another turn, another part where you parachute down, where it used to be pretty long as well. Can you get off the gear, please? You're evading a guy. There we go. It's all good. Yeah, this elemental guy apparently couldn't see the guy that was shooting at him, so it bugs the game out. So yeah, Scoopsy's level 24. I needed to run another level or dungeon in between these episodes, just to gain the levels needed. Dispel? Is that what it is? Okay. Never had to dispel anything before. So here's the boss right here, the Viscous Fallout. Level 29. Ooh, this guy is dangerous. This is definitely a very gnome-like place. Lots of big gears, lots of machinery all over the place, kind of things going, exploding. Not too often though. Things that gnome things don't often explode. It's the goblin things that explode. But unfortunately, there's no goblin dungeon as far as I can remember. So we're kind of stuck with the gnomes right now. The great exploding dungeon is not meant to be yet. Yeah, it's so funny going through all these dungeons. I kind of realized how many were or are kind of alliance based. I never noticed it before, but yeah, it kind of makes sense how many are. Ooh, where's this guy going? Tank's going haywire. So like, I'm used to having a bunch of quests here. You have to go kill this boss, kill that boss, and they just don't have them anymore, or don't have them here. Oh, tank's going some wonky places. He's running us around. Whee! Oh, I'm the instant leader. I never noticed. Guess it's all my month of experience making these videos. It's the game respects me. Knows that I know my way. It's all good. Yeah. It's a confusing place. Yeah, this place used to take, again, it was one of those kind of, it wasn't the worst one. There's a place called, what is it called? Black Rock Depths, I believe. That was the worst place. I mean, it was really cool, and I'll show you it when we get there, but it's incredibly dense, and it would take forever to kind of get finished it. If you wanted to clear all the bosses out, it would take you hours. Hours and hours. Unless you knew exactly where to go and you're like kind of overpowered for it. But if you weren't, hours and hours. So it was pretty brutal to get through. This place wasn't as bad because there's kind of there's a couple different pathways you can go down, but they all kind of lead to the same place. Where in Black Rock Depths, they all lead to different places for the most part. Brutal. There was there's one part in this place that used to highlight an old bug that used to happen. Hunters, we don't have any in this group right now, but hunters, they have pets, right? And the pets follow them around, attack enemies for them, and all that kind of good stuff. But there's an elevator in this place, and what used to happen is if a hunter went down that elevator without dismissing their pet, like kind of getting rid of it for a second, it wouldn't take the elevator with them. It would kind of swoop around and pick up every enemy, or seemingly every enemy in this whole dungeon, and it would bring them right to you. So you'd just be kind of chugging along, everything's going good, and all of a sudden you'd see just a massive swarm of like 100 enemies, and you'd die immediately, of course, and then everyone would get mad at the hunter. That's where the tasteful name Huntard, I'm sure, came from, at least partially. Classic games. I'm looking forward to leveling up more and getting more abilities, because so far my tool set is pretty shallow. Not that it ever needs to be super complicated, but you know, you just want to be able to do more. That's how you feel good as a healer, you know, when you're kind of doing a lot of shit. Somebody's attacking me still. This place is still pretty bad for guys kind of swarming you, because as you can tell, there's kind of two pathways here. You can go down this way, and there's guys, or you can came down the way we came, and there's guys. Sometimes you can kind of bump into the guys down here, and then they kind of run. Again, they run around, pick up all the enemies, and then come up and attack you. It's a bit more manageable now, but it's still not something you want to happen ever. So yes, we're going up to another boss here. This would be the launch bay, kind of a hangar area. Oh, and these guys, the alert systems. Yeah. If you let them go, they summon enemies to you. But if you kill them quick, no problem. So there's a boss right up in the middle there that we kind of need to swoop around the map to get to. Ooh, lesser moonstone. That's good to sell to things. I need the gold, I don't do quests. So yeah, this used to be one of the longest dungeons. Now it's not bad. If you do everything, it is still pretty hefty, but most people running this dungeon don't. They didn't change it, but they streamlined kind of how it goes, so you can still go to like all the other kind of rooms and stuff like that, but you don't have to, and it doesn't kind of push you that way, so you kind of have to go off and exploring on your own, which is kind of cool, but you know, you can't really convince a group of 4 other random people to do that. Very rarely can, at least. So you're either stuck kind of going in by yourself, or if you can kind of get friends to do it. I should definitely hit level 25 though. Hopefully that unlocks a different dungeon, because I'm already in the red for this one. A little bit low level for it, so hey! Hopefully it works out well. I say that a lot. I just want everything to work out well. I don't think that's a bad thing. I've always felt like, I mean, we've been clearing this dungeon out for what, like a decade now? Like how long has this been game out for? How long has this game been out for? And we still haven't actually taken this place back for the gnomes. I think it's kind of silly. I wish there was more of that kind of stuff in this game. Kind of actual game-changing events outside of like expansions and stuff like that. I just feel like it's cool. I want the world to change, you know, that's part of the fun. You get so invested in a world, and for it to be entirely static forever and ever and ever, it's like, oh, it's a bit of a drag. There used to be a quest, and I wonder if you can still see it. Yeah, these matrix punchograph, or whatever, punchograph. You used to have to kill an enemy outside of the dungeon, and you get a punch card, and you'd have to go to every one of these things, and I think there's at least like 4 or 5, and each one would give you the next step in the quest, but they're kind of tricky to find, and they're kind of a pain to get, and it's just, it was rough, and you needed to kind of do it beforehand, before you got a group, because you had to get the groups yourselves, right? There wasn't a random dungeon back then. It was fun. Fun to do. Stamina Spirit. Oh man, it's level 28. It seemed weird to need that. Ooh, extra parachutes. And we usually aim for, where is it? This pillar right here, I feel like, for the most part. But the tank is going down that way. Oh well. I like a tank that explores. I love the people that just jump down. Like, I can't help you, buddy. That's why you don't just jump into a big pile of mobs. I don't like how slow my heals come, though. It can make it kind of difficult. Oh, I do have this penance spell that I usually use for damaging, so maybe it's kind of my fault. So I had one guy die. I still feel like I've been doing pretty well, though. I haven't let anybody die except for that one time, the last dungeon in the Stormwind Stockades, where everyone died. Alright, I need to resurrect a bloke. Still in combat. Are you not in combat? No. Yeah, so we need to go down this path, but as you can see, there's another way there we could go down. And it would get us to the exit overall, but it'd be around about way. I think it might... Oh god, we pick up guys? Oh, jeez. We picked up, guys. I think something might have happened. Something funky did. I think I gotta stop running in. My impulse whenever something happens is to kind of run into the center of things, but then you get beat around and it's no good. So that explains why I was still in combat. I couldn't resurrect the guy. One good thing about dungeons at low levels is that your mana regenerates like so quickly, like no big deal. No worries. This is another place where everything can go bad. Because groups usually go down to the left, this path here, but below there's a bunch of guys. And yeah, if you somehow accidentally hit one of the guys, or just they accidentally see you up there, then they go through the pathway, go through, oh I can't see it yet. Go down the big, are we there yet? No. Whenever the map changes I can show you. Aha. It goes down all the way here, picks up guys, and then comes all the way back up. Usually a gigantic mess, and it usually happens at least once. Again, you can kind of survive it a bit better now, so it's not as bad, but it used to be instant death, and it still probably is. Take out the landmine! Almost done though. Once we get to the bottom of this hallway here, it's the boss. And yeah, that'll be it. I almost kind of wish these dungeons were a little bit longer. I quite enjoy doing this. I definitely should get to level 25. I'm not sure if that'll open up any more dungeons though, which is a bit upsetting. I don't like having to do them again. I do like that this shaman's name is Cum Crusted Dick. Very classy. Oh, that's something. Yeah, I just picked up a grime-encrusted ring. Now, there's a place early on. Maybe the Horde doesn't actually have access to it now that I think about it, because it's a bunch of gnomes. But there's kind of like this washing stations, I guess you could say, and you get a couple of these kind of things, grime-encrusted stuff. And I think there might not even have been a chance, but I think there was a decent chance that it was something kind of valuable. And so you have to go to these stations, and you can only clean one of these things at a time, and you usually end up with like a couple of them, like a fair amount. And it always inevitably, you either had to run back to the beginning of the dungeon after you finished it all to do it, or you kind of hold on to them from the dungeon run before, and you just spend like a long time. I don't want that. A long time at these kind of like cleaning stations, just like throwing one in, waiting maybe like 5-10 seconds for it to spew an item out, and then you had to wait again, and you had to do that like 6 or 7 times, and you know, it doesn't add up to be a whole lot of time, but when you kind of want to just kind of charge along, you know, do a dungeon, it can be a bit of a bugger. Oop, I just blasted myself. That guy has Reflect on. Yeah, that was a bit of a drag. I don't know if Horde can do it though, because like I said, it is gnomes in there. Maybe they change it depending on who's in there. It could happen. I don't really know. It's been so long since I did these dungeons as Horde, and to be honest, I don't even know if I ever did this one as a Horde before, because you had to run into the heart of Alliance territory. So yes, beyond these great doors, the final chamber. Fitting name. It was actually somewhat of a tough fight. Let me open up the door. Ah, there he is. Mechgineer Thermoplug. Now, this fight, again, you don't really need to care about this anymore, but ready. These things on the side here, you can see there's buttons. They'll open up and they start spewing out bombs. Now, you don't really need to anymore, but you used to have to close these things, so there'd be one dedicated person going around closing these things off. Oh, that guy's doing it. It's no doubt helpful. Maybe he's not. Oh yeah, he is. It's another little interesting little mechanic, and then that shuts it down. Yeah, it shuts it down. And then no more bombs until the next one opens up. But again, you don't really need to do that anymore. It's kind of unnecessary considering it seems like only one opened up. Oh, there's another one. They don't do a whole lot of damage anymore. I think they used to be like kind of a... I don't know about one hit, one kill, but it would be pretty devastating. It's definitely something you didn't want to happen. And that would be the game. What do we got here? Ooh, don't need that ring. And don't need those shoulders. But that will be it for me today. Thanks everyone. Thanks for the fun. Doodles. I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe.